Sergeant Sean Rios killed during a shootout on the north side yesterday. After the gunfire, the veteran officer staggered into a motel lobby where he died. We now have new video from inside that motel, and we're talking to its manager. Janelle Fort now live on the north side. Janelle?
Well, Sherman, it's been nearly 24 hours since that deadly shooting took place. This morning, we got our first look inside of the motel lobby here, where Houston Police Sergeant Sean Rios took his last breath. I spoke with HPD about 45 minutes ago. I asked them if they had an update. Unfortunately, they say that they are still feverishly working this case, and whoever's responsible is still out there. The Taj Inn & Suites is back open for business. The remnants of yesterday's deadly shooting are mostly gone, but the memory of those scary moments still lingers for the motel's manager. He didn't want to go on camera, but says he was here working when Houston Police Sergeant Sean Rios stumbled in, desperate for help. The manager says that was around 1:30 yesterday afternoon. He heard a series of shots outside. He started checking around the building when he heard the door of the lobby open and Rios stagger in. He says the 25-year HPD vet had been shot and was bleeding profusely. The manager says Rios pleaded for him to call 911 before collapsing in the lobby. He dialed police, unaware Rios himself was an officer. Detectives say at the time of the shooting, Rios was in plain clothes and driving his personal vehicle. Rios died in the lobby. Details about what happened are still unclear. Investigators say Rios was on his way to work at Bush Airport when he was shot. They say he got into a gun battle with at least one person along the North Freeway feeder. Not too far from the scene, investigators recovered a Mercedes they believe is involved. They say they're still looking for a pickup truck. They describe the alleged gunman only as a man in his 20s with many tattoos. HPD Chief Art Acevedo says his department is putting forth a relentless effort to get to the bottom of this.
We are coming after you. We're going to capture you. So do yourself a favor and turn yourself in.
Sergeant Rios was 47 years old and a father of 4. This morning, the beginnings of a small memorial outside of the motel began to form. Now, another big portion of this investigation is figuring out a motive into this shooting. Right now, funeral arrangements for Sergeant Rios have yet to be announced. Back to you.